feel good. It's been a long time since I've had a look away. You know, it definitely lifts up my soul and my heart. Thank you very much. Thank you. I've got my brothers here, and I'm a bit of a sentimental man, as I know my brothers are too, and a bit of a softie really, which is why I tend to write songs that perhaps let's hit the heart a little bit. Now, I actually don't think I've ever performed this song. I may be wrong, but I don't think I have. This is when I was a little boy. And I write a lot of songs about when I was a little boy, because of course that's when your emotions hit you first time, isn't it? You know, when whether it's on on the beach in Wittering, where you lose your sock, and no one seems to care. Yeah, it broke my heart. Do you remember, Jamie? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Do you remember laughing?
It was funny.
Do you know, it absolutely broke my heart. I had these red socks, and they were football socks, and I was very attached to them. I don't know why. But, you know, I don't get attached to things anymore. I don't. You know, if I have a guitar that I'm attached to, I give it away. You know, if I have whatever, if you want anything I've got, please do just come and claim it. I think a lot of it's going to go in the raffle later. I always, if I get too attached to something, I feel I should let it go, because you shouldn't. You know, you shouldn't get attached to anything. But of course, there's one thing that I was very attached to, and that's my dad. My dad, when especially as he got older and my mum passed away, and he became like my best buddy. You know, I used to hang around with him a lot. But I remember being a little boy, and we lived in a nice house, and the staircase came down. And actually, Jem, you probably don't even know this, but I'll tell you this story. I kind of woke up one night and my parents were having a row, and my mum, she was really quite cross. I don't know what my dad did, but my mum was really quite cross. I mean, my mum, she wasn't really cross most of the time, was she, Jamie?
Not very often at all.
Not very often. She was very calm, wasn't she? And everything kind of went over her head, didn't it? You know.
Yeah.
God, when she got angry though. Jamie, can you remember that party when we were kids, when we were teenagers? Do you remember that party where they had, it was Dan McGee's party? Do you remember that one? We had a drummer called Damian McGee, and this was in our first ever band. And his parents were away, and he lived like on this farmland, you know. And so he thought, well, we're going to have a party. Which was a great idea. I mean, we were all teenagers. So, Jamie, you must have been there, weren't you?
I was probably there, I can't remember.
No, you always had a good time. I know you did. You're my big brother. I followed you. You always had a good time. So yeah, Damian, he had this, he had his house, and we kind of had children who used to live with us when we were young who were like brothers. And this young chap was a friend of Paul Jude's, my brother who's here too, called Martin. And Martin had, Martin was about 14, I think, at the time. But we'd all gone to this party, which was basically an open house party. And my mum felt very responsible for Martin, of course, so she decided that she would just ring the house to check everything was all right. Well, there were some big lads there. Big lads on bikes, on motorbikes. And one of them picked up the phone to my mum when she called up. And he basically told her where she should go. Oh my God, she was livid. She was livid, absolutely livid. She came right round straight away, absolutely blowing her top. And of course she came into the house, and as the only adult anyone had seen that evening, somebody said, "It's Damian's mum." Now, obviously, it was my mum, but of course it was Damian McGee who had his house. And so everyone thought the parents had returned home. People were out window. Mine was for sure. I saw my mum. I was right out the window. Everyone just cleared the house in a minute. But I mean, we're talking about a big party. It wasn't just one room full. It was basically full of people, and it managed to clear the whole thing. My mum did. I was quite proud of the fact that she managed to clear that party so quick. And the funny thing about it is Damian was too. Damian said it was getting a bit out of hand. It's probably best. Anyway, so this night, as a child, I came down the stairs and I heard my dad and my mum having a big row. And I don't know what it was about at all. But I do remember seeing my dad had this big bookshelf full of books, his pride and joy. It was big, full of these old books They'd been gone through the family and everything. I remember my mum grabbing hold of the bookshelf and pulling it down. I could see through the crack of the doorway. And so it was a real big argument with my parents. And it really broke my heart, because my dad, I witnessed sitting there with tears running down his face. And I was I don't know, like 6 years old or something, like really 7 years old, that kind of age. And I just remember peering in, and he didn't even know I was there, and just seeing him so upset. And I was scared to say anything because my parents were roaring. And I just remember thinking, as he sat there, that I wanted to take all the pain he had and put it in me, because I could take it, because I thought he couldn't take it. On a cold and torrid night, a boy awoke childlike. He wandered tiptoe down the flight and peered into a room. In his view was a man who ached, tortured thoughts inside him raged. A tear fell down from his face. The man who was there was you. I don't know what a man can do, but I know what a man can dream. As I stood there, you never knew, but I prayed that God would comfort you and take the burden far, and to place it inside of me. Just to see your smiling face, and to see the man this night replaced. I long to fill a child's embrace. There's no one as loved as you. I don't know what a man can do, but I know what a man can dream. With the power and the strength in me, I've grown to be the man you see. And often wonder where I'd be if it hadn't have been for you. In this world I live on my own, but I dream that one day I will know the boy who wanders down alone and peers into the room. I don't know what